In some of the comments, people say all sorts of things. A lot of them are actually really nice messages, and I'm so pleased that lots of people are waking up. And then some of them are whatever they are, and yeah, anyway, we won't go too much into that. But you know, if you start looking at this channel, right? And I did start this channel, really, I was upset what was happening to Shanann until I started looking into the Drive video. But anyway, that's where I started to see that there was some problems there, and every video that's on here about that case is something wrong. There are other things on this channel, but you know, everybody, if you look at the count of what people are watching, they're not watching about spiritual things or things they can do for themselves. They're watching all the stuff on the WhatsApp. But wouldn't you like to hear a bit more of this kind of talk, so that you understand even the language and the words that you're saying and the spells that you're making? Most people don't even know what words they're using. They don't even realise what they mean. You know, we're not educated properly. We're only educated the way that we're supposed to be for the slave race. You know? Anyway, listen to a bit of this, because what would you rather listen to? What would you rather be watching? What would you rather your psyche full of? Yeah, I don't just do this case. I do many, many, many things, and I talk to loads of people.
And the only thing that gets us into these states of having our son taken away and put into a box, which is us, is our...
It's a bit of a shame our children weren't learning this, isn't it?
Well, it's not really a shame. Like we said, you know, right time, right place. It wasn't the right place in the right time. But what's happening now is, like I was saying in my previous presentation, we are shifting ages, we are waking up. So now is the time for us to start figuring this stuff up, because we're coming out of our sleep, of our slumber. So over the last few thousand years, whilst we were in the Iron Age, in the dense age, we had to be in that dark duality in order for us to wake up and learn from it, so we don't repeat it individually as souls. Because again, the meaning of life is experience, learn, grow, move on. So we're here to experience, we're here to learn, we're here to grow, and then we move on. So this is what we're doing now. We've experienced the darkness of casting bad spells, and the result is this crazy world we live in, right? We're now learning and decoding how we've done that, how we've manifested this crazy world through our language, right? And then we will change this reality as we share this information and begin to cast new spells over time. So it's good, Karen. Everything has a time and a place. So we shouldn't look back in the mirror and say we should have or could have, because we are. We're in the now.
We're watching things like this and not even realising what we're looking at. Now, some people do put their comments that they just didn't see what was wrong with this footage. But anybody who's awake can see that he lost his hand. And then everybody else looks like everybody else. And we're being fed all this. And it's all to do with deaths. It's all to do with all this other stuff. But wouldn't you rather be listening to understanding this?
So just some words while he was talking, I just thought I'd write them down and get them out because it allows me to hear them.
Okay, Martin.
So the word time itself, subconscious language, I explained last time, everything's subconscious. This language is written forwards, backwards, subconscious can't lie. Our actual subconscious speaks every sort of 15 seconds. In reverse, we can do this, play it. Children start speaking it as young as 3 months. Just play them backwards, you'll find it every 15 seconds. So, time. The timing. You're tied to time, okay? This is just an example of what the word means to the subconscious. A clock. C is the third letter in the alphabet. It also represents C and sight, Trinity, etc., etc. etc. But we'll have this all for you guys. So C is a Trinity lock. You're locked in time with the Trinity. And literally your watch is called a watch because you keep watching it. And you see how language is almost just telling us without us seeing it. And then it unfolds and it becomes quite funny. So the word rights itself, everything right is obviously good, yeah? Because it's right. As in righteousness is just the right choice. We have our rights in law, for example. But it doesn't mean your rights, it means your rights. If you have an ability to be able to think with the right side of your head, it's kind of like your rights, is they're giving you a little bit of that, okay? So what you don't want to do is have rights, privileges, or anything within law, because law itself is a wall, okay? And there's no point in playing a game with this. No point.
You won't win.
There's no point in getting involved. What we need to do is stop fighting with the wall and start creating ourselves. We've just been governed in our mental, right? It's about time we started to get together with our friends at first and put our money where our heart is. Where our heart is. And we need to stop spending £1,000 a month to stay in a box that you're not expressing or experiencing. You're tied down to this proper tie with paying rent, taxes, drinking water that's fluoridated, probably having to buy water from the shop, all the mass expenses. Why didn't we just buy grazing land, buy cheap caravans until we help each other build log cabins? That won't take long. Plant our own trees with fruit on, because fruit is the healing food, and fruit itself will present it as saying, for you it, healthy food is heal thy. The only thing that your body uses in fruit, I'm sorry if I'm diverting, but this is just hard to teach because it's been quite far back, you know. Amino acids. Everybody goes on about proteins. It's amino acid. Does everybody know what causes disease? Like acidity, yeah? So acidic food causes disease, dis-ease. Amino acid is in no acid. So there is no acid in amino acids. It's in no acid.
Disease is dis-ease. Muted. Disease is dis-ease in yourself.
It's not something what people think it is. It's just you're not at ease, you're at dis-ease. That's right. So the language will tell you. Then if we want to go into this type of language, which is just sparking a few thoughts, we all go to the doctors, yeah, to get well, okay? And we go to get a diagnosis, yeah? Can anybody tell me what gnosis is?
Knowledge.
You can. Knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Phonetically, English has many meanings, as all language does, but this means bad, dire, okay? Dire is bad, like diabolical.
It's dire.
Dire straits, dire. So on one side, diagnosis is just telling you it's bad knowledge. And then you go and they treat your mental.
Treatment.
They treatment you, so they just treat your mind. Dire also means through or throughout, so it could also mean on the flip side just through knowledge. But there's many meanings to language which you will see. So
this is where is this where intent comes into it, right?
This is where intent and the subconscious. So the subconscious is actually picking up on this, or your conscious mind is in the weekdays. By the weekend, you're so weakened that they give you a rest. And the place of rest for a human, the forest, is for rest. It's your trees, it's your ionic discharge. The trees have a bark, okay? Can anybody tell me phonetically, arc? If something was arc, what would it be? Electrical?
Yeah.
Like an
we have
arc welder? The Ark of the Covenant, yeah? V is the second letter in the alphabet. It means two, yeah? There's a two-way arc tree. And you've heard of the saying tree huggers, okay? And trees are your opposite. The earth is called earth and ground for reasons of electrical reasons. We are ions, everybody. Positive, negative, or neutral. What do we choose? It's all our choice. And it only comes within. Positive, negative, or neutral. If I can emphasize that, it's all our choice. And the most important thing we can all realize, which my beautiful wife brought into my life, is we must maintain, if you want anything in our reality to work for us, virtues. 7 sins and 7 virtues. This, if I can not leave it on this, but leave this with everybody's minds, this is one of the most important things in your world. Okay? The most important thing in your world. To be virtuous in every action will allow you trusting with the spirit world, shall we say, trusting within, trusting with your subconscious upgrades. You'll allow self-manifestation of growth as your, let's just say Dr. Strange isn't too strange, okay? So this is very important, key, study it, everybody, study the virtues, study the virtues. He who governs himself virtually will be like the polar star, okay? So this is very important. That was just besides language. We're going to stray from language just for 1 second until it just pops back.